Good morning, volunteers, members, guests, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to OACETT's 2014 Annual General Meeting. Before I begin, I want to let you know that this AGM is being video recorded. I would now like to introduce your members of council, councillors. As I call your name, please stand to identify yourself. I ask that everyone kindly hold acknowledgement until I have completed all the introductions. Mr. Rod McLeod, past president. Mr. Bob Vandenberg, president-elect. Mr. Greg Miller, vice president, Institute of Engineering Technology of Ontario. Mr. Patrick Ng, IEDO councillor, Central Region. Mr. Mark Gatenby, PASB councillor, Central Region. Mr. Ron Walker, IEDO councillor, Eastern Region. Mr. Christopher Ellerton, PASB councillor, Eastern Region. Ms. Erin Booth, IEDO councillor, Horseshoe Region. Mr. Ken Brown, PASB councillor, Horseshoe Region. Mr. Andre Tardif, IEDO councillor, Northern Region. Mr. Andy Dryland, PASB councillor, Northern Region. Mr. Ed Prelo, IEDO councillor, Toronto Region. Mr. Vince Lefebvre, IEDO councillor, Western Region. Mr. Christopher Van Dot, PASB councillor, Western Region. Ms. Martine Band, appointed public representative. Dr. Christine Braderick Baus, appointed representative from the Heads of Technology. Mr. Shangis Satter, appointed representative from Professional Engineers Ontario. Mr. Andre Sherman, appointed representative from the Ontario Association of Architects. Also unable to attend this weekend, Vice President of Professional Affairs and Services Board, Kim Pickett. Oh, I'm sorry, we missed, did I skip a name? Mr. Steve Barnes, PASB councillor for the Toronto Region. Sorry, Steve. Ladies and gentlemen, your council. I would also like to introduce OACETT's senior management team. Please stand as I introduce you. Mr. David Thompson, Chief Executive Officer. Ms. Hilary Tadaldry, Chief Administrative Officer and Secretary Treasurer. Mr. Sam DiGiandomenico, Director, IEDO and Registrar. Ms. Sharon Leonard, Director of Professional Affairs and Services. Mr. Gordon Masters, Director, Government Affairs. At this point, I would like to acknowledge our past presidents in attendance. Please stand as your name is called. Robin Dunn, at the back. He's already standing. Angelo Innocente. Rod McLeod. David Sloan. And have I missed any? We tried to catch everybody as they come in. Thank you. Before we move on to the second agenda item, I will just point out that we did have one proxy come in. I normally wouldn't vote, but because of the proxy, I have been asked to vote in the member's place. So the adoption of minutes as presented. Please note that there are 2 floor microphones located in the room. As we move through our meeting, should you have any questions or comments, please use the microphones, and I would ask that you first provide your name and your chapter or affiliation, and then follow with your question or comment. Also, as we did yesterday in our first session, you can also email a question to agm2014@oacett.org, and our moderator, Debbie Richards, will ask the question. And I believe that the email address is on each table on a card as well. At this time, I would ask our Secretary-Treasurer, Mrs. Hilary Tidaldi, to come forward and address approval of the minutes of June 1st, 2013.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I now refer you to your AGM package under tab 2, where you will find minutes of the 2013 Annual General Meeting.
Would the mover and seconder please identify themselves for the following motion? Resolved that the minutes of the Annual General Meeting of the Ontario Association of Certified Engineering Technicians and Technologists of June 1st, 2013 be accepted as presented, amended. Moved by Diane O'Haron and seconded by Clive. Please note that Council has reviewed the amendments proposed and directed that before the AGM in 2016, changes to Bylaw 19 be considered that reflect the amendments proposed at the 2013 AGM and changes required by pending provincial legislation to the Corporations Act governing not-for-profit organizations, otherwise known as ONCA, and a review of Bylaw 19 following 5 years of operation. Are there any errors and/or omissions? There being none, any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Carried. The third agenda item is the OACETT update, a year in review. OACETT members and guests of the association, I am privileged to stand before you today as your president to talk about the year in review, future challenges and directions, and offer some commentary on the theme of our AGM and conference, Cultivating a Culture of Success. Let me first start by offering a perspective on success. First, as an association and profession, we are measured by the success to which we protect the public by setting standards for the profession. It's a major purpose of our legislation, but also how successful as an association are we at supporting our members' efforts to remain competent, to advance their economic interests, and branding the association and profession in the eyes of industry, government, and the public. The successes we've had to date in large measure are the result of a dedicated council, chapters, volunteers, and staff who are committed to making our association the best it can be today, but more importantly, what it can be in the future. I thank you all for your contributions. Since taking on the role as president, my primary focus has been to facilitate a process to look at our association through a stronger lens. I have had the pleasure of working with council and many of you in this room as we critically assess where we are today, but more importantly, to question ourselves on where we need to be tomorrow. Our deliberations included anticipating challenges we might face and the potential opportunities we could leverage. Before touching upon our revised strategic plan, I'd like to talk briefly about 3 developments this past year that will have significant implications for this year and beyond. The tragedy of the Elliott Lake Mall collapse, with the loss of human life and the subsequent inquiry, with its final report and recommendations due in the fall of this year, illustrates the critical role that engineers, technicians and technologists, and the trades undertake in the protection of human life. OACETT prepared extensively and participated along with PEO, OAA, and OSPI, and others in a day-long panel discussion before the inquiry commissioner. The findings and recommendations of the inquiry are expected to have significant implications for the building industry, government, and regulatory agencies. Mandatory professional development, professional liability, and building inspection programs by engineering professionals are just some of the issues that the inquiry will likely address, with potential implications for technicians and technologists. The much talked about and debated industrial exception is another significant policy issue impacting our profession that has and will continue to be argued before government, industry, and the public. We have a strong interest in working with the PEO, industry, and government to find ways and means of enhancing public safety while ensuring the legitimate role for technicians and technologists working in an industrial setting. Considerable time, money, and energy has and will continue to be expended by your association to advance such initiatives as the Licensed Engineering Technologist, LET, designation. I look forward to working with David Adams, the new president of PEO, Shangiz Satter, the PEO representative on OACETT Council, and our own Sharon Reed, CTEC, OACETT's representative on PEO Council, in finalizing the LET. Lastly, the Ontario Human Rights Tribunal ruled that the Canadian work experience for internationally educated professionals is discriminatory. My expectation is that by year's end, Council will be considering and adopting changes to our certification process that will supplant the one-year Canadian work experience with alternative solutions. Yes, we are a provincial association, but I am sure that you would all agree that our borders now extend well beyond Ontario. We have strong working relationships with our partner associations across Canada. We need to ensure that our members have the opportunities to work internationally and at the same time welcome international members and easily integrate them into our association and to become vital employees within our economy. We are a non-profit association, but we are still a business, and we cannot lose sight of the fact that we must maintain relevance for our members, be prepared for unforeseen issues, and leverage opportunities when presented or create our own. I am pleased that we have a new vision and mission statement for the association, which we feel accurately reflects who we are and where we want to go. Our vision is advancing the engineering and applied science technology profession in Ontario, Canada, and worldwide. Our mission statement is OACETT is Ontario's independent certifying body for engineering and applied science technicians and technologists. The association provides exceptional member certification, benefits, and services. In so doing, OACETT meets the needs of its members, creates a visible and globally recognized professional standard, and serves the public interest. I want to assure you that our vision and our mission statement is what are driving your association today and for the next 5 years. For your council, chapters, volunteers, and staff, these are the go-to statements that all of our activities will be benchmarked against. In support of our vision and mission, we have executed a new strategic plan. Developing a winning strategy is always a challenge. It takes planning, innovation, and execution. This plan builds on the good work of our previous plan, and we have identified 3 priority areas as follows. First, a unique value proposition. What this means is that certification is our core business, and we will continue to maintain our excellent certification processes and leverage these to strengthen our association through accreditation, partnerships, and expanded recognition. Second, communication and outreach. As much as we communicate, we know it is never enough. The expectation is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, through a variety of channels and technologies. We know that we have a good story to tell, and we will use every communication vehicle available to us to get this story out to members, companies who employ our members, colleges, government, and the public. Communication and outreach expands recognition of the association and our capability as members. Third, member opportunities, development, and professionalism. An active, engaged, certified membership base is key to OACETT's success. We will continue to focus on member recruitment, retention, member services, and professional development to ensure our long-term growth, reputation, and value. These three priorities are all intertwined, but the goal or the driver is to always advance our profession. Brand positioning of who we are and what we represent to the outside world is about the role we play in our members' lives and the public at large. As I mentioned earlier, OACETT has never stood still, and we have many accomplishments to celebrate. In business over 55 years, continued membership growth, over 350 active volunteers, dedicated employees, financially sound, and strong collaborative relationships and partnerships. This is what is meant by cultivating a culture of success. Yesterday, you heard from our members as they showcased their technical competency through the technical poster presentations. Through the Fletcher Foundation, we now have student bursaries in all of the 25 colleges in Ontario. We have expanded our involvement in social media as ways to communicate and engage with our members, stakeholders, and they with each other. And this past weekend, if you haven't noticed, I've been trying to keep the tweets going. I think they're called tweets. I've been trying to keep the tweets going, letting the members know what we've been doing for the past few days. Outreach to companies, colleges, and government is ongoing. We held our 2013 Provincial Gala Awards, where we recognized 27 recipients, and last night 3 members were bestowed with the Fellow OACETT designation. We have a variety of programs to engage the young people, such as being a founding member of National Engineering Month, and increased activities this year, partnering with Skills Canada, Ontario. We now have the ability to write the PPE exam online 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days in the year. So on Christmas morning, if you want to write your exam, you can write your exam. We provide ongoing leadership and participation in our national initiatives of Technology Professionals Canada and Technology Accreditations Canada. We implemented new pricing models for recently landed internationally educated professionals. We have new technology platforms for enhanced internal operations. New professional development opportunities for our members through partnerships with Ryerson University and the Canadian Standards Association and online webinars. We have had many accomplishments over the past year, from financial success, membership growth and stability, increased recognition, and valued stakeholder relationships. These accomplishments don't just happen. They are the result of hard work, dedication, and a passion for our association by many people. I want to thank my fellow council members, the chapters, volunteers, and staff for their continued support and hard work over the past year. We as members see the outcome of their efforts at well-organized events such as this, but please, take my word when I tell you that there is much more hard work going on behind the scenes making all of this possible. I am proud to continue to provide leadership as we continue cultivating a culture of success. Thank you. At this point, I would like to invite greetings from some of our guests. To thank each of you for being with us today, we have made donations in your name to the Carol and George Fletcher Foundation. This foundation provides assistance to young people across the province to pursue careers in engineering and applied science technology. I would ask that as I introduce you, you come up to the podium to my left and address the audience. From the Applied Science Technologists and Technicians of British Columbia, Mr. Dave Rutherford, President.
You'd almost think there was a magic show going to happen here, wouldn't you? Well, good morning, and thank you, President Morley. On behalf of ASTT BC, greetings and thank you for your invitation to attend OACETT's AGM. Our two associations have enjoyed a long and productive relationship and which continues to grow from year to year. In my role as president, I'm very much enjoying a close working relationship with your president, Stephen Morley, together with the presidents of Alberta and Saskatchewan, and our respective CEOs and the staff that they represent, as we pursue excellence in rebuilding this country's technology accreditation model. OACETT takes on many of the key roles in this process. For example, initiating and following through on a commitment to have a national discussion on the need for one national technology benchmark. No small task when one considers the diversity across this country. Also, your work on the LET designation for your members should be congratulated as well. I congratulate your association and your president for tackling some of these most difficult tasks which contribute to a strong and united voice for technologists in Ontario and the rest of Canada. In closing, I wish you all the best for a successful annual general meeting and for a very productive year ahead. I'd like to present President Morley and CEO David Thompson with a small token of appreciation for their hard work over the past year with ASTT BC. First, the traditional ASTT BC clock, and followed by our brand new Technology Sizzles aprons, which is just in time for barbecue season. Get out the spatula, because these things are good. Yeah. So this is a brand new apron that we had designed by a local artist in British Columbia, and we're presenting them to key members across the country in recognition of Technology Sizzles. There you go. Thank you. We're in good health. Oh. There you go, Dave. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you, Dave. My wife will be very happy to see the apron. Because let me finish. Because that means I'll get behind the barbecue a lot more. Did it work? Okay. From the Association of Science and Engineering Technology Professionals of Alberta, Mr. Keith Galliot, President.
Thank you, Mr. Morley. I was planning on coming here this morning and saying good morning to everybody. Then I was informed last night that I actually have 30 minutes to get up here and speak today. Unfortunately, I can probably do it. Have you guys all heard of PTech? No, I'll get to that now in a minute. On behalf of the 18,000 members in OACETT, the staff, and the council, gives me a warm feeling to come this morning with you guys and bring greetings from our province. Being the president of OACETT gives me the unique ability to work on a national level. That gives me, the opportunity to represent our association on a national level, working with great people like Mr. Morley, Mr. Thompson, and the other members of TPC, BC, and Saskatchewan. It gives us the opportunity to get together and talk about different issues that's happening across this country, and to see the great work that's happening, such as in OACETT with the LET coming up and the different initiatives. It wasn't that long ago that as a technologist, you'd be going around the country and people would say, oh, you're an engineer helper? Oh, can you help me fix my VCR? It's because of the great work of these associations that today we are recognized as equals in the workforce, and everybody seems to know what a technologist is. In Alberta currently, we are offering the PTech designation. We currently have 500 PTechs approved in Alberta that can work under legislation within codes and standards within their scope of practice. This is a great advancement for Alberta, and I can see it moving forward to right across this whole country. Unfortunately, I did not bring a gift, Mr. Morley. All I can offer you is a handshake and a warm hug. I believe that's become more of a tradition amongst our provinces. So with that, thank you for having me at your AGM here this morning, and good luck with the remainder of your AGM. Thank you.
At least he warned me about the Hugland, not like last year. From Professional Engineers of Ontario, Mr. Shangiz Sadr, council member. As Shangiz is coming up, David Adams, the president, was planning to be here, but his wife is not well. So we thank Shangiz for stepping in his place and bringing greetings from PEO.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, everyone. My name is Shangiz Sadr, and I am an East Central Region Councillor with PEO and also PEO liaison on OACETT Council. I'm standing for our President, Dave Adams, who sends his regrets that he isn't able to attend today's meeting to bring greetings on behalf of PEO Council. As you know, the engineering team is a subject that has become quite powerful in our professional communities since diverse skill sets and resources are required on almost any given project. And you, as technicians and technologists, are among the best known members of the engineering team. So I'd like to provide you with a brief update on some of the initiatives being worked on by PEO to enhance this team. Our efforts to improve workplace safety in our province continue. Not long after the OACETT AGM last year, the Ontario government reversed a legislative commitment that would have helped ensure a healthier and safer workplace through the repeal of Section 12(3)(a) of the Professional Engineers Act, otherwise known as the Industrial or Machinery Exception. Our province backed away from the September 1, 2013 implementation date it had set for the repeal and still has not set a new one. The exception allows unlicensed people to carry out acts of professional engineering in relation to machinery or equipment other than equipment of a structural nature for use in the facilities of their employer to produce products for their employer. PEO believes that having all professionals publicly accountable through licenses and certificates of authorization eliminates the need for government to prescribe unnecessary regulations to protect the public interest. And as you know, highly skilled technologists and applied science graduates have been able to practice professional engineering within their areas of expertise and take responsibility for their work since 1984 through a limited license issued by PEO. In late 2010, the independence of limited licensees was extended through the Ontario government's Open for Business Act, which made a change to the Professional Engineers Act that will allow them to offer and provide professional engineering services within the limitation of their licenses independently to the public. So our work with the government continues to determine when the repeal will be implemented. Since I spoke of teams earlier, I'd like to mention that PEO has a new member of its executive team. Our regulatory efforts are now being led by Gerald MacDonald, our new registrar. Gerald joined PEO in January after having spent most of his career in public service roles within the national transportation sector, including holding several leadership positions within Transport Canada. Immediately prior to joining PEO, he was Assistant Deputy Minister, Safety and Security. Gerald brings to the association a proven record of high-level regulation development and expertise, along with commitment to focus PEO on its core mandate He is now leading the development of a strategic plan with input from council, senior management, and PEO members and volunteers that will help to define an explicit organizational direction for the association. The plan will help to keep our staff and volunteer efforts focused and assist council in overseeing those efforts and exercising appropriate governance. So with this brief look at what PEO is working on, I offer my very best wishes to you all for a successful and informative day and encourage you to follow our progress on these and other initiatives in our official publication, Engineering Dimensions, which is available to you as a digital edition through the PEO website as well. Thank you.
Thank you. From the Ontario Society of Professional Engineers, Mr. Danny Young, President and Chair.
Thank you, Stephen. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As usual, I'm delighted to be here. The reason why I'm saying this is because I've been recycled by OSPI as being the new president. I represent the Ontario Society of Professional Engineers, or OSPI as we are often known. As many of you know, OSPI is the advocacy and member services organization for engineers in all industries and disciplines all across Ontario. While OSPI and OACETT represent distinct groups within the engineering profession, we certainly share many common goals and we both work to promote the professional and economic interests of our constituents to governments and industry, and we both work to ensure that the work our members do is understood and appreciated by the people of Ontario. People hear engineering and they think of bridge building and what have you, and they do not understand the dozens of other ways that engineers, technicians, and technologies improve practically every aspect of daily life in Ontario. In the most literal sense, together, we make Ontario a better place to live. We make the economy more innovative and productive, and we make Ontario safer for our fellow citizens. Both OSPE and OACETT are showcasing to our fellow citizens the important and wide-ranging contributions of our respective roles. We make the economy more innovative and productive. We make Ontario safer for our fellow citizens. Technicians and technologists are an important part of the engineering team, and we look forward to working together for many years to come. Thank you, and I wish you all a very successful AGM.
From the Ontario Association of Architects, Mr. Cormel Ionescu, Council Member. Wasn't sure that I'd seen him this morning. Okay, we'll move on. From the Ontario Concrete Pipe Association, Mr. Gary Mulhern, Executive Director. Oh, we're on a roll. I know the next person's here. From Colleges Ontario, Mr. John Hoyka, Senior Research and Policy Advisor.
Good morning, President Morley, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for the opportunity to speak on behalf of Colleges Ontario. And as I said last year at Blue Mountain, I have a kind of a personal interest, long-standing interest in OACETT because my father was a member for over 50 years. So I've heard a fair bit about OACETT over the years, and it looks like I get to continue a little part of the tradition. It doesn't include the technical part, but it does include some of the policy things you're dealing with. Before I get into comments from Colleges Ontario, I do want to express on Gail Smith's behalf. She was here last night, but unfortunately she had to drive to Ottawa this morning. And so she wanted to express her congratulations to OACETT and all of its members, and her regret that she couldn't be here this morning. On behalf of Colleges Ontario, there's a few things that I want to start with. The Fletcher Foundation, absolutely wonderful. It's certainly I can speak on behalf of the colleges, and particularly the heads of technology. This has just been a great initiative, and one of the great things that you people have been doing with colleges. Beyond that, of course, there's really very close working relationship with the heads of technology and with the individual professors. There's been a lot of work between the colleges and OACETT to bring as many professors as possible into OACETT membership, and to work together in terms of ways to persuade graduating technologists and technicians to become members of the association. And I think it's a great working relationship, and it's certainly been building over the last few years. The next thing I want to mention is just something that probably Dave Thompson knows most about here, but there's an organization called Ontario's Workforce Shortage Coalition. It's got its own website, and you can follow up, which advocates to the government in terms of workforce skills, and that's been going on for several years now. About 20 industry associations are involved, and OACETT's been a member right from the beginning. So I thought I'd mention that because it's part of that broader advocacy to encourage the government to think about some of the technical skills that are necessary in an advanced economy. And finally, I just wanted to mention something that the colleges have been advocating for, and sometime in the future may come to fruition, and that would be 3-year degrees. So right now, as you know, a technologist would typically get an advanced diploma. Well, we're pretty much the only place in the world that offers only an advanced diploma for a 3-year post-secondary program. Right now, there are about 50 countries in Europe that have agreed upon, through something called the Bologna Accord, a 3-year degree program. We know that universities offer 3-year degrees here in Ontario, and so one of our advocacy ideas is that that 3-year credentials should become 3-year degrees. The assessment of how do they compare in terms of the standards is actually pretty close, with very minor tweaking. The kinds of programs, any of you who are in the technology programs, would pretty much qualify. I doubt it would radically change things for people in the room, but I think if we're thinking about the next steps for the profession, that's something that you might want to take in mind. And certainly if you people feel that you'd like to support this, this initiative, we'd be very happy if that happened. So I want to again then thank you for inviting me to your annual general meeting, and certainly all the best to OACETT for the coming year, and look forward to the next exotic place a year from now that you're going to hold your next annual general meeting. Thank you very much.
I'm glad you said exotic and not tropical. From Ryerson University, Dr. Elaine Lamb, Director of Business Development and Strategic Planning.
Greetings to OACETT counselors, President Stephen Morley, CEO David Thompson, OACETT executive members, and partners on behalf of the Chang School at Ryerson University. We are the leading provider of continuing education and adult-based learning in Canada, with over 1,500 career-related courses, seminars, and workshops each year, many which are available fully online. And the work that we've done with OACETT, we're very proud of, because we'll be launching a set of workshops which will provide members with non-technical skills and competencies that we hope will continue to support your vision of advancing the profession, and it's something we feel very passionate about. We have been working since 2012 to look a little bit more closely at the labor market research, with the aim of collecting more information about the training and development needs in your sector. What we found were that certainly skill shortages were evident, as well as a surplus of new graduates in the field who were insufficiently equipped with soft skills. This is certainly close to what we see in other professions, where there's a lot of technical knowledge, but perhaps some of the other skills may just need a little bit more input. So what we also found from this study was that soft skills, particularly in the range of engineering professions, would certainly help graduates find new opportunities to advance in their careers. So with that, the Chang School is pleased to offer this new set of workshops. There are some posters outside that will give you a sense of what these workshops can provide for you. We do think that there's a lot of value that can be added there, and we hope to continue to work with you to be able to identify areas where there may be skill needs. What we'll be doing is working with our Ryerson faculty and expert practitioners, and OACETT's taken a great role in helping us to pick instructors and topics as well. We do hope that you will take advantage of this learning opportunity, and there's a discounted rate for OACETT members. Thank you for the opportunity to plug these workshops. We do believe that it aligns with your strategic plan and your overall vision, and we applaud you for taking such a bold approach to the future. Thank you.
And lastly, but certainly not least, from the Ontario Building Officials Association, Mr. Mike Sealing, President. Feel the love.
Good morning, everyone. Unfortunately, I wasn't aware that I had the opportunity to address everyone, so just bear with me here for a second. So good morning. My name is Mike Sealing. I'm the OBOA president and also an OACETT member for 25 plus years, so I'm very proud and pleased to attend. Fortunately, this is my first AGM, so thank you. President Morley, executive members, and OACETT members, thank you. President Morley spoke about working together, and OBOA supports this initiative. For example, both associations are dealing with provincial regulation changes. It's not uncommon. We have changes such as President mentioned, the Elliott Lake Inquiry. We are expecting changes to regulations. We're going to be expecting new regulations. And this is going to be a game changer, and all for the good of safety, because having 2 Ontario citizens die, that's not acceptable in Ontario or in Canada or anywhere in the world for that matter. So these are some of the things that we're working on. The Ontario Building Officials Association has also made in the last year a huge investment in our own education training, and we're in the process of trying to work with other partners to see how we can better get out to other building officials and non-building officials for that training. Another game changer that the building officials sees is mid-rise wood frame construction. Currently, buildings are allowed to be built out of wood frame up to 4 stories. The province just went through a regulation proposal up to 6 stories, and we see this as a game changer. It's already allowed in British Columbia, and we foresee that it's going to become reality here in Ontario. In closing, as OBOA president, we believe in partnerships, and we look forward to working with OACETT and others. And in fact, we've already set up some tentative dates to meet and work. So congratulations to OACETT, and have a great AGM. Thank you.